Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Pulling Museum right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a Northern thing. You're listening to a special edition of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show, The Game Sports Show, live from Icebreakers Sports Bar and Grill. Host Dave McCaig coming to you live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show. You're listening to the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or on the Scott Neeson YouTube channel. It may have also been directed here through one of our social media pages, through Instagram at The Game Sports Show SSM, or through Facebook at The Game Sports Show. Either way, I want to say thank you for being part of our special Icebreakers edition of the Game Sports Show, also powered by Northern Superior Brewing Company, where myself and the one and only Brad Coccimiglio talk about local hockey here in Sault Ste. Marie, local sports in general, and if we have time, we also jump into some professional news and just some hot topics in the world of sports. I do have Brad Coccimiglio here with me. I'm going to bring in Brad in just a few moments. Just going to get through the usual introduction portion here on the Game Sports Show. As I mentioned, we're here live at Icebreakers Sports Bar and Grill. Here tonight, they are closed, actually, at Icebreakers for a staff party. But Brad and I get the special VIP treatment. We get the luxury of coming up and using the VIP room where the Game Sports Show is held on Sundays. And I want to say thank you to Scott Neeson, whom is our board operator here tonight as well. And the staff here at the Icebreakers, again, loud and rowdy out there. Usually it's nice and loud with the customers and the staff out there, and there's some hockey games on both sides. Well, there is some practices in hockey on each side of the pads. However, there are no customers up here currently. It's just staff from Icebreakers and I guess from Glyphs as well. So without further ado, though, I'm going to bring in the most important piece of the show right here. The best looking guy on the panel. For sure. He's just got a great smile, great attitude. He's a big part of the Game Sports Show, especially when it comes to the local end of things. The one and only Brad Coccimiglio. Brad, my friend, how are you?
You know what? I really can't argue with anything on that, and I'm not going to.
No.
But I always appreciate the intro because you always build me up. One of these days, I'm going to be worried that I'm not going to be able to walk out of the room.
Nope. Yeah.
Because my ego is going to be about the size of those doors.
You know what I'll do? I'll back up and I'll get the construction done to get the doors bigger so your head could fit through there.
Deal.
I actually got the introduction ideas from Scott Neeson. Okay, and this is actually, listeners can't see how kind of ease back I am right now because you have a special mic that you're holding now. I got my own mic. Yeah. I don't have to slide the mic over to you or do anything as such right now.
Yeah, we're not sitting as close as we used to.
No, we're not as close, which sucks for me though. I kind of like getting closer. But we have a good setup here at Icebreaker Sports. We have our fourth show. This is considered a fourth show of the week. We haven't been at Icebreakers since before Christmas. This is our first show since Christmas, and we're going to be here every Sunday, as you listeners know. I've also been asked when we're doing some Craig Hartsburg editions. We are planning to have something done hopefully this week or next week with Craig Hartsburg, as we have our Craig Hartsburg editions as well that are powered by Icebreaker Sports Bar and Grill and the Northern Superior Brewing Company. Speaking of Northern Superior Brewing Company, we have our shows there on Thursdays. We did have one this past Thursday. We do have one there this upcoming Thursday. We also have a show at Sportscentre Bar and Grill this week, and we also had one last week, so make sure you gear over to our previous uploads on the Game Sports Show through the Podbean page, Facebook, or on the GameSportsShow.com website or the Scott Neeson YouTube channel to check out those fantastic shows. Now, as I mentioned this week, we will not be at Wicked Sister. We have one more week off from the Wicked Sister. We're back on the 14th of January. Myself, Scott Neeson, Butch Davis, and EJ Russell. But from here going forward, we have our usual schedule with Sportscentre, Northern Superior, and Icebreakers, as I mentioned. And this week, we will be at Sportscentre, Northern, and Icebreakers, as I mentioned just a few moments ago. So, Brad, we have a lot of sports to discuss here that happened locally. The Lakers were in action. The Hounds were in action. Soo Thunderbirds were in action. Soo Eagles were in action. You had just sports going all over the place this whole entire weekend. And the NFL playoffs was on too. If you want to go to the wild card weekend, was absolutely insane. You had NHL hockey going on. And people don't forget, the World Juniors were still on. And Finland took home the gold medal.
some Canadian fans probably checked out the other day. But
Yeah, I think some people definitely checked out. But we have to look on the bright side of things. Finland won the gold. And we lost the gold.
That was a good Finland team too. Like I'm going to throw that out right
Oh,
there.
very good.
As much as people in this country and people in this city are, basically throwing the Canadian team under the bus right now and throwing Max Comtois under the bus and throwing Tim Hunter under the bus. I've got a lot of opinions on that, and they're pretty much the opposite of what most people are saying. I mean, people are looking at that, and I realize we're already hijacking and kind of getting off topic like we usually do.
No, that's, you know what? I'll say right now before you go, you know what we'll do? We'll talk about the World Juniors right now. We'll shift the kind of agenda. We'll talk about the World Juniors right now, how the tournament ended, and then we'll talk about the Canada situation, because I definitely want to bring up the bullying. The bullying that went on there from the fans.
And I will say that's one of my biggest issues.
Oh, it's huge, and that's absolute bullshit. But it was. I will say it. I don't appreciate that from the fans. And then we'll gear from there to talk about the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and then we will go to break and we'll come back to talk about the NOJHL and the Lakers, and we'll get to some other hot topics in terms of the National Hockey League. If you want to talk of that, I know usually here on the local show it is just local hockey. But we also like to spin in some professional sports, as we mentioned, and we're definitely going to talk about that. And we might even bring up a little bit of football here to tease us for our Wednesday show. So here, listeners, buckle up, get your popcorn ready. It's going to get popping, and it might be unsafe if you're not buckled up. Let's do that. That's a little hint. You know what? We like to have a little bit of fun here on the Game Sports Show, so we're gonna keep this as free as possible. So I want you to continue that with the World Junior talk, though. The bullshit. I call it the bullshit that went on the Northern edition. I said it was. Yeah. You know what's nice about having the two mics? You can talk when I can talk.
Yeah.
It's very. I like that.
We're talking over each other, but not being like, "Hey, give me that mic."
Yeah, no, we're literally just feeding off each other. I like this. It's nice. But that's the last time I'll bring up the mic thing. I promise. You have Max Comtois, who I'm going to be honest, but I did say
tournament with a separated shoulder.
He did.
And I'm going to jump into that really quick now because so many people are saying that. Why did Tim Hunter pick Max Comtois to take the overtime penalty shot in that situation?
Would you have let Bouchard?
I would have considered it. Yeah, I really would have, knowing the talent that Evan Bouchard is. Yeah. And I have an issue with that international rule.
Yeah, I do too.
That it's, hey, you get a penalty shot, pick anybody. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
I get the idea of it that, in some situations you want your best players taking it. I mean, let's face it. When I played, if I went in on a breakaway, and I will be the first to say I maybe had two in my life, if I was going in on a breakaway and got pulled down, I can guarantee you that I was one of the last guys on my team that my coach wanted to be taking that shot.
Yeah.
And if they had the option, I wouldn't blame them for picking someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
But you earned that shot, though.
That's where my issue comes in now is, at the end of the day, let's use Evan Bouchard as the example.
Yep.
Evan Bouchard earned the opportunity. He went in on a breakaway, got pulled down.
Yep, he did.
And it's the same thing. You look back to that Swiss game against Russia, where they got two penalty shots in the same play. And two different guys took them.
Yeah.
And two different guys took those shots.
And not the one guy that got took it down took it out there.
And I believe it wasn't the guy that got pulled down.
No.
Took either of them.
No. He didn't.
And I'm not, for me, I'm not a fan of that. And especially at that tournament, because, let's face facts, on that Canadian team, pretty much every guy in that roster is one of the best players on their club teams. Yep. So chances are, if their club teams had a chance to pick a guy, all 20 guys on that roster are probably guys that would get consideration.
Even Bouchard in London.
Even Evan Bouchard, in London. And I get the people, and I understand the people that are saying they shouldn't have picked Max Comtois because of his shoulder. I understand that.
Now they don't. Now they say that when they didn't even know beforehand.
But that's the thing. Did Tim Hunter know at that point that his shoulder was separated?
Shouldn't he have as the coach?
I would think so.
You would imagine.
I would think he did.
Wouldn't you? Who's he play for in junior again?
He is in. I'd have to double check.
Yeah, we'll get.
Because he got dealt before the start of the year.
That's right.
I believe he's in Drummondville.
We'll get producer Ghost on that. Producer Ghost get on that.
And the thing is, though, is Max Comtois. We gotta remember, I look back at the tournament Max Comtois had, and he was one of the best Canadian forwards, without a doubt. And the people locally in the Soo should have picked Morgan Frost. He had 8 points in the tournament.
Drummondville. You're right.
You
Drummondville.
know, Morgan Frost had 8 points in the tournament. This isn't anything to take away from Morgan Frost and the talent that he is, but 5 of those points came in the Denmark game. So
A game that Don Cherry heavily criticized too. That we also talked about on Thursday.
He had 5 points in a 14-0 game. You know, and would Morgan Frost have scored there? I don't know.
And people are asking why
You know,
didn't they pick
people-
him. I would have went Nick Suzuki.
Yeah, people are like, why don't you pick this guy, or why don't you pick that guy, or why don't you pick so-and-so? Do you know that player would have scored?
No.
Why didn't you pick Cody Glass?
Well,
Can
there's
you
another
tell
guy.
me? Can you tell me with 100% certainty that any of those guys that people wanted to take that shot would have scored?
No.
We can't.
No, we can't. Even if same odds if this Glass went, the same as if Bouchard went.
And you know what? I look back at it, and if Max Comtois scores, and we find out after the tournament he had a separated shoulder,
We're like, wow.
it's going to be it's a completely different dynamic to that story, because then everybody's saying, "Oh my God, look what he did with a separated shoulder." That's the problem with this is, regardless of what side, what happens in that situation, you're looking at it, and it's 2 completely different stories. You know, and then the other thing is, you know, that shift in overtime in the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
You know what? Cody Glass, 9 times out of 10, and maybe even 99 times out of 100, he's going to get in that position, and that stick's not going to break.
Oh, afraid Noah Dobson
Or no,
shot.
Noah Dobson,
Noah
sorry.
Dobson.
Noah
Yeah, you're
Dobson,
good.
yeah.
Noah.
Cody
Oh,
Glass
you're a
had
big fan of Noah as well. So we
Cody
both
Glass
are.
had a chance earlier in that.
Yeah, you did.
That's
You
what I'm
did. Yeah.
thinking.
Noah
Okay,
Dobson.
Noah Dobson.
Oh.
Left circle, goes for the one-timer with 3/4 of the net. A goal that Dave, even you and I would have scored.
Yeah.
As long as our sticks don't break, even you and I would have scored there.
Yeah. Oh,
Noah
he had
Dobson-
the whole open side. Lukanen was out of position.
Yeah, Noah Dobson hits that net 100 times out of 100.
Yes, he does.
You know,
Very good defenseman, Noah is. Islanders got a good pick there.
Yeah, players at that level of that ability hit that net in the position 100% of the time.
Unless you're Patrick Stefan with an open net.
Yeah.
That'll never get off. That will never get off.
And even Patrick Stefan, if the goalie's in, he probably hits that.
But-
yeah, you know, and I mean Noah Dobson, and you know what, I will admit I had a chuckle at the Finnish, you know, hockey company that
Sent the
stick.
Pama, I think it was called Pama
Pama or something. Yeah.
Pama or something.
I will say, you know what, that was like I got.
Was that a chirp or a nice gesture? I think it was actually a nice gesture.
I think it was legit nice.
Yeah, because they want to sell their product.
Yeah, it comes off as a chirp just because of the situation, but I really think that was them just being like, "Hey, dude, that sucks." Like here, like that sucks.
Here's a stick, and maybe what if it's a good stick?
Well,
maybe Noah Dobson gets
all of a
yeah.
sudden they're moving into North America.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's all about building the brand.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden people are talking about that Finnish hockey stick brand over here.
They are.
All of a sudden people in North America are learning about this company. I didn't know who they were before.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't even know that thing existed.
Well,
who sent it? It was
the company.
But was it? One of the players that kind of got that done, or was it the actual company? I think it was actual company.
Feel like
It was the
actual
company.
company.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Noah Dobson, how much does that suck? And then the winning goal goes off Cody Glass's stick.
That's wild.
That winning goal was deflected off Cody Glass's stick.
See, and I kind of blamed DiPietro. I thought it was a weaker goal at first. Not blamed, but I thought maybe he could have had. But then you see the deflection.
You see the puck come off his stick, and that's the thing. I mean, that game was basically built on breaks.
Yeah.
Finland got a break in the last minute to tie it. You know, they got a break when Noah Dobson's stick snapped, and that stick probably 99 times out of 100 doesn't snap in that situation. But I will say that's my biggest issue with the composite sticks.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, and I mean, I can't say this with 100% certainty, but if Noah Dobson's using a wood stick, I feel like it doesn't break there.
No, we're going to get to the wood stick conversation.
I used wood sticks my entire life, except for the one aluminum Easton that I had. My sticks went through war. I had sticks that lasted me years, and I worked with them. Like it's a situation where those sticks were so durable. And these one-piece sticks, the issue is you get the slightest little nick in them, and they're done. You know, in that situation, Noah Dobson's stick probably had a slight nick in it. In that situation, that's when it's going to break. I mean, it sucks that that game played out the way it did for the Canadian team, but you know what? I mean, when you look back on it, Finland went and won the gold medal. They won.
We lost the team that lost, or sorry, we lost the team that won the gold medal.
You know,
so
and that was a good Finland team. Whether it's Rasmus Kupari or Capo Kakko, the underage kid that's going into the draft, like Ukko Pekko Luukkonen. Hey, people in Sudbury, if we have any Sudbury listeners, enjoy this guy while you can.
Yeah.
You know, this kid is a lot of fun to watch.
And classy. He's top DiPietro down there.
You know, and that's going to be a kid that you're lucky you're getting to watch this kid in Sudbury on a night-by-night basis.
Oh, he's absolutely wild.
You know,
good goaltender. Fun to watch.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, overall, yeah, it sucks.
People are catching up to Canada, too, in hockey, man.
It is. That's the way it is. And, you know what? To go back to the Max Comtois issue.
Yeah.
You know what? People really need to grow up.
They do.
They just, and like, I hate to use a bit of profanity with this, but they need to grow up.
Yeah.
You know, they need to realize we've come to a day and age, and this is the issue I have. Like, I love social media. You know, I love the fact that I can use my Twitter feed to get information out and get stories out and all that. But my issue is we've got too many keyboard warriors now to think that they can go on Instagram and chirp Max Comtois. Hey, congratulations, you're doing that from your mother's basement.
Yeah, you're an armchair GM.
You know, congratulations, you can chirp a 19-year-old kid who's done more in his life in the last year than some people are going to do in their lifetime. Like, that kid has been in the NHL. That kid is a pro. He's going to be a good NHL player.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's like miles ahead of anything I could have ever dreamt of being as a hockey player.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, it sucks. Yeah, Max Comtois. Hey, you know what? It sucks that he went in and missed that penalty shot. It sucks.
See now,
but it is what it is.
I want to say the hockey god reference.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Thursday, okay? Yeah. As the party picks up there in Icebreakers right now, the party on here at Icebreakers. So hopefully the clarity continues well for the listeners here, for myself and Brad Coccimiglio live at Icebreakers Sports Bar and Grill. We talked about this on Thursday, myself, Justin, and Dane talked about it in Northern. And we said Justin wasn't, let's say, too happy with kind of what Don said and Dane and myself, but we weren't upset at him because of what he said about the Soo or anything, because we were just kind of upset because we kind of think it's getting a little bit personal now with Soo Greyhound ones. Because he's referenced Morgan Frost as what people are raising people in the Soo to do, and what people in the Soo teach their hockey players.
But little does he remember that Morgan Frost is actually Southern Ontario.
Yeah, he's from the Southern Ontario.
And this isn't a knock on Morgan at all, because I've dealt with Morgan a lot.
Yep.
Morgan is an absolutely unbelievable kid.
Big moment, man. He got a goal there in Canada. He's in the big national stage. Yeah. But you know what, Don?
It was early in that hockey game.
It was 3-0.
Yeah, let's not forget that at that point in the hockey game, that game was still close.
Yeah.
When he does that game is still close.
If it's 14-0, he does that. Then we got. I agree.
Yeah, you look at that Canadian team. The further up that score went, the less celebrating they did.
Yep, they did, and they didn't go. But here's the other thing, and I said, to be honest, Brad, I didn't like what he said about towards the Soo in that way.
Yeah.
But his comments. Yeah. He has a right to say what he wants. He's old school reference. Yeah. And I said, I'm a fan of Don Cherry. I met the guy a couple times. I don't think he remembers me from when I was younger. I had the tour of the CBC Hockey Night in Canada room with himself and Ron there with my parents. I met him here when he came up to the Soo when I was younger. I have autographed pictures from him. I have all of his Rock'em Sock'ems. Yeah. Maybe I think I'm only missing 20 and 21 or something like that from the collection. So if anyone has those, don't hesitate to reach out or comment below. I'll buy them off you with my no money in my bank account. But besides that, I got to say to you right now that he's not wrong about the showboating thing if they were actually going to actually showboating hard.
If it's legit, then, you know, and I get it.
Because he did tell the Hounds about last year's Hockey Gods, it's going to bite them. Yeah. They did lose.
He really wasn't wrong.
They did lose. And you know what? I do get it. It's not like he was right or wrong.
Hockey gods are a funny thing.
The Soo, I think people are taking it that he's chirping the Soo. Yeah. And in that reference about Morgan Frost, it sounded like he jabbed at the Soo there. Yes, I agree. Yeah. That was quite personal. But I don't think he means to jab the Soo. Yeah. I think he kind of just means to point at the kids that are on the Hounds. Yeah. And he thinks these kids that are on the Hounds, he thinks a lot of them are from the Soo, when I think 3/4 of a roster isn't on the Soo. I think we have Cole is from the Soo.
Cole McKay, and that might be it.
Yeah, I think that's our only Soo guy there. And at the end, there's Soo guys in the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Baber and if you want to go to Porco, right? There's guys.
Keegan Stevenson.
Yeah,
as well,
Keegan
who's
Stevenson.
having a good year.
Yeah. John the draft, top 3 rounds. Those guys might go. So you have those going on, but Don Cherry is not wrong in the sense of showboating. He's not.
Yeah.
He's right.
100% accurate.
He is.
Absolutely.
And you know what? The hockey gods, we did lose to Finland.
Yeah.
It is a thing. I'm not saying Don Cherry is the hockey god himself or that he is. It's just coincidentally he's been right each time.
Well, and the funny thing is I always look and you know what? I look at it in every sport. You know, the baseball gods, the football gods.
Baseball gods are the worst.
Yeah, you know, and I look at hockey that, you know, how many times a guy takes a good penalty and it gets killed off. You know, and that's, you know, got a lot to do with the teams, but, you know, if a guy takes a terrible penalty, how many times have we seen at any level, a team takes a bad penalty or a stupid penalty and gets scored on that power play?
On a stupid one, that's a bad call. But when it's actually a good call, hey, you know what, to be honest, people may think I'm crazy, but if I'm a defenseman or forward, back check or someone, if I can't catch them, which I'm not going to lie, I think speed was one of my areas. I felt that I was always confident against someone. But you know what? I'm pulling you down. I'm going to pull you down and either get the penalty shot it'll be. But then I had a coach tell me once saying, Dave, a penalty shot's less. You have someone that's not on you, who's not back checking, you're a bit easy minded. I disagree because all the pressure's on you when you're watching. Everyone's watching even more. But if he's on a clear breakaway where I know I'm not getting him, I'm pulling him down. But if I'm like basically beside him or right on his rear end, I won't pull him down because I can just poke the puck. I'll figure something out. But getting off topic with that. But the whole point is Don Cherry. I'm a fan of Don Cherry. Always will. I like him. I think the hot dog thing towards the Soo wasn't against the Sault Ste. Marie residents. It was against the Hounds. And he wasn't wrong, but he wasn't right. Okay. And same with this comment. In terms of showboating, but they didn't really showboat Team Canada. Like you said, they didn't. They stopped. But when he pointed out the Soo, saying, I don't know what they're teaching kids in the Soo, that's where I'm like, okay, that is the issue. But now, if it happens again, where let's say the Hounds are in the playoffs and they win the first round and they win 4-3 in overtime in Game 7 against Owen Sound or whatever it may be that they play, and they do a big celebration, is Morgan Frost going to do a quick celly and then is Don Cherry going to chirp him? Maybe. If Don Cherry brings up another chirp about the Soo, then it's personal. That's 3 times, okay? Then if he references the Soo. But nothing off topic. I want to get your final thoughts about the Don Cherry. We're kind of continuing this talk from Thursday, but
and you know what? I believe in the hockey gods.
Yeah,
I do 100%.
They bit us in the ass if that's the case. He's right.
I mean, it's one of those things that and I get where when Don Cherry throws out the word karma. They throw out karma. That's Morgan Frost, putting his hand up to his ear after a goal in a 14-0 game.
Yeah.
That's karma biting in the butt.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's I mean, I buy the hockey god idea.
Yep.
I mean, it's unfortunate that Don Cherry felt the need to
say Soo.
Try to make it, and some days I don't know that he's necessarily trying to make it personal, but he's not realizing that it's coming out that way, and I think that's more the issue.
84 years old, basically can say what he wants, I guess now, right?
Yeah,
that's what he's thinking.
My biggest issue with him is just the fact that he needs to. There's better. I guess there's better ways to kind of bring out that idea because would he say that if it was Owen Tippett? You know what I mean? Like that's the idea, and I think people are under the impression that he wouldn't say that about anyone but someone who's playing in the Soo.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case because knowing the way Don Cherry is, he's the type of guy that seems like he just doesn't like showboating, period. And it's just happened that, over the last 8 months, 2 of the bigger ones have been, and I'm not saying Morgan Frost was showboating.
He wasn't. We're not saying they're showboating. They're not.
Morgan Frost was showing excitement.
Yes, he was.
Because
he was pumped.
I will sit here and I will tell you with 100% certainty that if I was in Morgan Frost's position and I scored a goal in the World Junior Hockey Championships, I would be pretty friggin' pumped too.
I'd be fucking
I'd be
celebrating.
celebrating like
You know me, I celebrated. When I scored, I celebrated. Because I didn't do it. I scored lots of goals in my life, and I just love the feeling of putting that puck in the net, man. When you're a goal scorer or two-way goal scorer, you like to get pumped. And Morgan Frost is a purified. I shouldn't say this because it might come off wrong, but he's an offensively minded player.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying he's not defensively minded, but like he is offensively minded.
The best part of
scoring goals.
The best part of his game is scoring goals. The best part of his
and
game,
playmaking.
Yeah, the best part of his game is the offensive side of the puck.
100%.
It's not that he's poor defensively because he's not, but his ability to score and his ability to distribute the puck is what's going to get him to the next level.
Yeah, and you know what? Don Cherry's comments, people got to understand that he doesn't really mean a person towards the Soo. It's just a matter of him pointing out that the Soo's involved somehow, though. We'll see if it comes up again. If it does, the Game Sports Show will be there to give you the rants. But Brad, you and I here at Icebreakers, we're actually going to take a quick break because we're in 25 minutes to talk about the World Juniors of Canada. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Soo.
Talk about it 25 more.
We could probably talk about it for another 3 freaking hours if we wanted to here. But we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and then we're going to jump into Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and then wrap up the rest of the local hockey scene to wrap up tonight's show. As people know that we only are here for about 45 minutes to an hour with our local edition. And that's what Brad and I like to do, is aim to please. Yeah. That's what we like to do. But Brad and I are going to take a couple sips on our water. No beverages tonight. We're actually behaving, which is very strange a little bit. I kind of want to join the karaoke out there. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I forget what song this is. What song is this?
Going on by...
Yeah. I can't. No, I won't start. We're going to lose viewers if I start singing.
We'll let the people out there do the singing. We'll stick to talking
sports. Yeah, that's a better idea. Brad and I will be right back here on the Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show, the Game Sports Show, from Icebreakers Sports Bar and Grill, special edition of the Game Sports Show, powered by Northern Superior Brewing Company as well. Don't go anywhere. We've got more content to discuss locally and professionally.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Pulling Museum, right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a northern thing.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and special edition home to the game, Silver Creek Golf Course, located on 104 Bellow Lake Road, Garden River, Ontario. And also shout out thank you to Silver Creek GM Jamie Henderson. Silver Creek Golf Course has many specials to offer for 18 holes, 9 holes, and even Twilight Deal specials. It does not matter what your level of golf game is, it is a must to enjoy the scenic course, memorable experiences that Silver Golf Course offers. Silver Creek also offers a Thursday wing night for you to enjoy food after a stellar time on the course. You can book your tee time by phone or online at golfsilvercreek.com. Silver Creek Golf Course, where all are welcome to play.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscentre Bar and Grill. Sportscentre Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscentre rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscentre, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscentre Bar and Grill, the Soo's best sports bar.
Get wicked at the Wicked Sister. You'll find the best tasting food for the whole family. Start off with some appetizers like the crab dip, served with warm non-bread strips and soft pretzel bites, or their antibiotic and hormone-free boneless chicken wings with 5 choices of sauces. Entrees include the barbecue pulled pork sandwich, the #1 selling drunken cow burger, or Philly cheesesteaks, and they're on special all day Thursdays. The Wicked Sister also offers a gluten-free menu and catering. Bring the whole family. The Wicked Sister, downtown Ashman Street, open 7 days a week.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https thesalonsoo.as.me The Salon, making the Soo beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Soo Peewee Pro Shop. The Soo Peewee Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Soo Peewee Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Soo Peewee Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Yours truly, David McCaig, alongside the one and only beautiful Brad Coccimiglio.
Beautiful.
The Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show. Yeah, we're beautiful, Brad.
I can't argue that.
No. You know what? Before we even jump into the Hounds, I want to say, when I played hockey, people are going to say drink. I'll bring up what they mean by that, because I like to bring up the past once in a while on the show. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I actually, and I looked it up, I'm actually 2 for 3 in shootouts.
Yeah.
Perfect 3 for 3 in penalty shots in junior hockey.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Tim Hunter would have looked down the bench if that was me and said,
Hey,
Dave, you got to jump on the ice. Probably not, because first off, I'm way too old for that tournament, and I never made that tournament. And there's a lot of good hockey players that didn't make that tournament when I was playing.
Ask Ty Delandry,
Oh,
the Firebirds.
yeah, wow,
One of the best players in the country right now. He was sitting at home.
Oh,
I
but
mean, you know what?
We're jumping.
That's a discussion for another day.
It is.
And I'm surprised we haven't heard more of that discussion of should have picked this guy, should have picked
This
that guy, should have picked this guy, should have picked that guy.
Go-to move? Can you guess what my go-to move was? Jerry and I had the same go-to move. Jerry Patingolo, who has his number retired with the Soo Thunderbirds, number 9 retired. Him and I had the same move.
I feel like
But I taught him, I said.
I feel like you deked the backhand.
That's right. That's what it was. I've lifted the leg. I did the Crosby of Jose Theodore.
I felt like the leg lift was going to be a part of it.
I still do it in men's league.
Oh,
I still do it. And I remember the other day I was playing a game, and it wasn't last week because I ended up losing last week. But the week before that, or even the week before that, I had a breakaway, and I was like, you know what? Let's pull it out of the arsenal.
Yeah.
And I faked it, pulled it back, and I went upstairs, okay? And I'm like, okay, it's still in the arsenal somewhere. A little rusty, though. Then I broke my stick on a net the other day.
Of course.
Like, you know how the puck gets caught in the net?
Yeah.
I decided to poke my stick to try to get it to bounce out. My blade fucking snapped.
Nice.
$100, and guess
Yeah.
what? 2 days after the warranty.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't.
course.
Yeah, so I don't have that. So I went to go buy a stick today, $220.
Yeah.
Sport Check, thank you for selling me the stick, but I haven't paid $200 for a stick in a long time. You know why I bought it today, not online? Because I have a game tonight, and yeah, I'm.
That's why I miss wood sticks.
playing. Yeah, see.
$30 a Canadian Tire.
Oh, freaking the
Get a nice old Sherwood.
Visa's already almost maxed out as it is. Money's not cheap. Christmas just ended. My God. But anyways, Brad, moving
Since
on.
we're talking about old times, I just like to throw this out.
Go ahead. Yeah, you covered me when I played junior
my
hockey.
last year midget,
Yeah.
I was a 60% face-off guy.
Oh, you had those stats?
I only took three. Because I only took 3 face-offs. So the back
Oh.
as a defenseman, went 2 for 3 in the face-offs. Just throwing that out there.
Forgot you were a D-man.
I was a D-man.
Yeah, you were a D-man. You're a shutdown
I was a
D-man.
penalty kill. I was a penalty kill guy.
So I would have hated coming down to that.
Killing a couple 5-on-3s, and center got kicked. The only forward on the ice got kicked out of the draw. Hey, guess what, guys? One of our defensemen is taking the draw.
That's what I loved
Yeah.
doing was face-offs. One of my strengths was skating and face-offs.
Yeah, it was 2 for.
And your defense, obviously your strength was being penalty kills and taking face-offs as a defenseman.
I went in. Somehow I managed to get in, killing a 5-on-3. I ended up in a 2-on-1 one time.
Holy God.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Did you score?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. It was
3
great chance.
Yeah.
Great chance. It was on my backhand drive into the net. It's funny that I even remember this.
Yeah.
Drive into the net. The forward on the ice is going down the right wing. I'm coming in from the left side of my backhand. I cut to the net. Gives me a great feed, and it's just a little redirection. Goalie got a piece of it. It squirted by the outside post. And it's probably
blew it.
That was probably the best chance I ever had in my life. And you know what? If I was Max Comtois, people would have been chirping me. If social media was there, I'm sure I would have.
Then you would have had a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
God. OHL talk. Hounds. They go 2-for-1 technically this weekend, winning 5-4 in overtime to Sarnia on Thursday, 5-4 to London on Saturday in London.
Or on Friday.
On Friday, sorry. Yeah, Friday in London, 5-4, and then they lose to Flint. That was today.
Credit to the Flint Firebirds. Flint Firebirds
Beat them twice.
Well, that, and I think Flint's got four wins in their last 7 games or something.
They're coming on and tied down Andrew, eh?
Yeah, they were. You know what? They put together a good effort today.
They lost 6-4 today.
Yeah.
The Hounds 6-4 lost to Flint. Flint has beaten the Hounds twice. Yeah. And out of the 4 wins, Flint. Let me repeat: 2 of them are against the Hounds. Yeah. You know what? They should have been 3-0 this weekend. I get it. People are gonna be like, we lost to Flint. Yeah. Come on, who fucked up? What? Okay, listen, no. We beat Sarnia. Yeah. Very good hockey team. Well,
beat London in overtime,
and that's
probably probably one of the toughest rinks in the league to play in.
They're first in the conference. The Hounds are just right behind them by how many points now? I think 5, 7, a handful, whatever it is. But we'll get to that in a sec. But they had a successful weekend there still. Okay, a couple overtime wins. At the end of the day, this week they play against Sarnia again. Wednesday, 7:07 at the GFL Memorial Gardens. And then they're home this weekend, Friday and Saturday. They play Windsor Friday, and they play Mississauga on Saturday. And then
Tippetless and Ryan McLeodless.
Yes.
Mississauga Steelheads.
Yes. So wins this week.
But everybody in this city will be able to see them when Saginaw comes here then. So.
Yeah, because they got
big deals. I mean, it is trade deadline day this week in the OHL, and
is Morgan Frost? Okay, do we say that?
I have to throw this out there.
Yeah.
I got asked so many times today on social media if Morgan Frost and Barrett Hayton were getting traded.
That's what I was just about to say.
If they hadn't played all weekend. You know what? Do I think the Greyhounds are going to make moves? Yes. Do I think they're going to make a big move? I feel like they are. I'm not basing that on any inside knowledge. I'm basing that on the feel that I get, that I feel like they're going to end up making a big move.
So Tippett
Tippett went to Saginaw from Mississauga, and Ryan McLeod went from Mississauga to Saginaw. Separate deals, 24 hours apart. That's good. The Western Conference is tough. The London Knights are done. They're not making any more moves. They don't have any more player cards, so they're not able to make a move. But the Saginaw Spirit, they picked up Justin Murray from the Barrie Colts in December. Real solid, steady defenseman. Then they go out and get Ryan McLeod and Owen Tippett in 24 hours.
See, right now, Saginaw Spirit, are 24-11, and they're 1 point technically behind the Sault Ste. Greyhounds.
They're rolling right now.
They are,
and they're getting better.
And they just got McLeod and Tippett, and they got Murray before. So the Hounds might be looking at that saying, are we in London or Saginaw's caliber?
Yeah.
And really, they are, but do they have to replenish? I know you always ask this on social media, and we have to talk about the games this weekend and everything. Yeah. So, but we'll talk about that when it comes to deadline this week. Do you think that the Hounds should keep Morgan and Barrett, or move them? Am I able to put you on the spot saying that?
I feel like, you know what? I feel like you have to strongly consider moving Morgan Frost.
Not Barrett. You don't really have to move Barrett?
I would consider it. If the right deal came along, I would consider it. But the situation with Barrett Hayton, their approach to Barrett Hayton is going to be a lot like the London Knights' approach last year to Robert Thomas.
Ooh.
Who they end up dealing to the Hamilton Bulldogs. Guy who goes and wins another OHL title. Yeah. Had a great year in Hamilton after the deal.
Yeah.
The reason the London Knights made that deal is because they were fairly confident that Robert Thomas wasn't going to be back in junior this year. So that doesn't come back to bite them in the butt this year.
Oh, so you're thinking that Barrett and Morgan.
I'm thinking, like, with Barrett Hayton, my theory is how they approach him moving and the consideration of moving him would be, do they think he's going to be back in junior next year, and what are the offers for him? If you get an offer that knocks your socks off, you know what, you probably have to consider moving him. Again, it's the old adage, even Wayne Gretzky was traded if you get the right deal. If whoever, if let's say the Guelph Storm. I use the Guelph Storm because they've been adding too. The Guelph Storm would come and make you this massive offer for Barrett Hayton or for I feel like teams are going to approach the grounds for Matthew Villalta.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't think that I feel like Villalta's a guy that they don't consider moving unless they get a good goaltender in return. But they're going to consider like the Guelph Storm, and this is no disrespect to the kids they have, but the Guelph Storm, as much as they've added, I don't know if they're a championship contender with Anthony Popovich and Nico Dawes. Because I don't feel like they're good enough to beat the London Knights or the Saginaw Spirit in the 7-game series.
If it gets to the Ottawa,
if they get to a final Ottawa, where I look at London's goaltending behind what they have, and I look at Saginaw's goaltending behind what they have. Those guys, whether it's London with Jordan Coy and Joseph Rainmakers or Ivan Prosvetov and Tristan Lennox in Saginaw.
Yeah.
Those guys, my whole theory is you have to be good enough. If you're on a really good team, you have to be good enough.
Yep.
You don't have to be amazing, you just have to be good enough. With me, I don't feel like that about the Guelph Storm. I feel like the Guelph Storm have a good team, but I don't look at the Guelph Storm and their roster right now doesn't scream OHL title contender. Where I look at London, Saginaw now after the last week, the Ottawa 67s. Like, those are the three teams that I look at and I'm like, these are three teams that are legit OHL title contenders. You can throw the Niagara Ice Dogs in there, but again, that's a team that might look at going out and getting a goalie.
Villalta.
Or
are they going to? Is that a team that looks at Morgan Frost and Barrett Hayton?
I think they are.
If they want to be competitive in the Eastern Conference, I don't think you said London won't be making a move, and I don't think Saginaw is going to be making another move.
I don't think. I think Saginaw would be happy. And the thing is, there's a lot of high-end guys out there. Owen Sound is selling. So hey, guess what? Nick Suzuki's on the market. Nick Suzuki's there. Morgan Frost is there. Like, there's a lot of high-end guys. The Hamilton Bulldogs. Brandon Sagan, ladies and gentlemen, who was an absolute beast in the playoffs last year. It's an overage. Hey, guess what? The Ottawa 67s have room for overage players on their roster.
Oh, God.
Do they go calling to Hamilton and say, hey, we're interested in Brandon Sagan? To add to a forward group that's already got one of the best OAs in the league in Ty Fellerman? Or does Ottawa come to the Greyhounds and say, hey, we've got an overage spot open. What are the odds we can get Jordan Sambrook? Because then all of a sudden you've acquired a goaltender who's won a Memorial Cup and an overage defenseman who's been to a Memorial Cup and a league title in the last 2 years. Kyle Rathis is in a very good position right now because he's got players who teams are going to want. And the thing is, it's going to basically come down to what he wants to do.
If Barrett's a guy that can come back next year, if Arizona doesn't keep him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Arizona will keep him next year.
I feel like he doesn't stick.
Not next year. The year after, yes, is when he's
that'll be as a
20-year-old. Yeah, and then he'll maybe plays in the A for a year and then goes up. But I think maybe that's the guy you keep.
Yeah.
Because you still think about it, the Hounds are in second place, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like this.
Scary thought. And that's what makes this so tough is if they were like a 5 or a 6 seed right now.
Then
this decision's easy.
Yes.
You pretty much deal Frost. You seriously consider dealing Hayton. You probably move Sambrook.
And Villalta.
Legitimately, the only guy maybe you consider keeping is Villalta just because you may not get a goaltender, like a high-end goaltender.
And maybe Hayton. Maybe two guys.
Maybe 2 guys. Yeah. But you pretty much sell off everyone else.
Sambrook, Frost. Do you sell Haldeshell? The guy is getting how many goals?
He's got 29.
29 this year, yeah.
He's got 29 goals. And that's the thing. We haven't even talked about Keegan Haldeshell.
Yeah.
Who's got 29 goals.
Yeah.
Who went on a stretch where he had 15 goals in like 14 games or something stupid like that.
Cole McKay's looking nice up there. You're not moving him, though.
No.
You're not moving
him. But that's the thing. Because all of a sudden that helps Cole McKay out.
Yes, it does.
He's going,
that's my point.
He's moving up, right?
In the lineup.
You're giving all these guys a little extra room. It's, you know what? I sit here and I wouldn't want to have to be in Kyle Rathis' shoes.
You think Flint's in the market for buying? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I did Lindstrom. Yeah, you know what? I don't envy Kyle Raftis having to make this decision of whether to.
I think you still want to be competitive, though,
and stand by.
I think you want to be competitive still. You want to.
feel like
you can make the finals in the Western Conference Finals still. I know people look at Saginaw; they're really good. London, people are thinking London Saginaw is the final
like
two for the West, but
you legit hope you catch a break where. Maybe somehow Saginaw drops to the 4 seed, and then all of a sudden
London.
you have to play. All of a sudden you go into round 2,
and you're playing Guelph or Owen Sound.
Yeah, you're playing one of Guelph or Owen Sound. Like I would, that's the ideal. Like the good thing about teams adding right now, and especially with Guelph adding, is they're trying to, Guelph's adding to try to make a run. So conceivably, if the Greyhounds can stay ahead of Saginaw this year, if they can stay ahead of Saginaw, because let's face it, right now
they're points separated.
Yeah, that division right now is down to Saginaw and the Greyhounds.
Yep.
For first place. Like, that's no disrespect to any of the other teams in that division, but I don't feel like Sarnia is in the same class as either team, and Windsor's not. And Flint's gonna finish in last in the league.
Yeah, they might even get to.
So
they have 7 wins.
Yeah.
So 4 and 6.
You look at that conference, and if the Greyhounds stay ahead of Saginaw, and that Guelph team, because I feel like Owen Sound's selling, so they're gonna drop back.
Yeah.
If Owen Sound gets rid of Nick Suzuki, that changes things.
They probably will. Sounds like it.
So if the Guelph Storm add and can catch Saginaw, all of a sudden that makes your life easier. That if you're the Greyhounds, you're almost guaranteeing yourself 2 rounds. You're almost guaranteeing yourself a first round win where you're looking at Kitchener or Windsor, or conceivably, Sarnia potentially or Owen Sound. And then in the second round, you're probably going to play Guelph. And if Guelph doesn't get a goaltender, I would take my chances with the Guelph Storm every day. If I'm the Soo Greyhounds, if the Soo Greyhounds decide to stand hot, I would take that Greyhound roster over the Guelph Storm only because I feel like the goaltender.
Then that's if Saginaw plays London in the second round. Then they beat the hell out of each other.
That's assuming that Guelph can catch Saginaw.
Yeah.
And bump them out.
So that's where London would beat the hell out of Saginaw, like the Hounds and Owen Sound beat the shit. No, Hounds will catch you.
Because all of a sudden London and Saginaw have to play in round 2.
Yeah.
London and Saginaw, like you said, beat
the shit out of each other. Like the Hounds did 2 series in a row last year.
Because you look at last year.
2 7-game series.
And the Hamilton Bulldogs were the better team in the final. I'm going to say that. Yep. They were the better team in the final.
Yep.
A healthy Greyhound team, I can't say that series is different, but I feel like that series goes 7.
Yeah.
If the Greyhounds are healthy.
A little bit less games. And Verbeek wasn't there last year.
I feel like that series, if the Greyhounds are healthy, I feel like that series at least goes 7.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say the Greyhounds win because I don't know that they would.
I'll tell you right now, if we play Saginaw in the second round, we're going to have a little bit of issues. If I'm Kyle Raftis, to be honest, I'm keeping Villalta. Yeah. I'm going to keep the relevance of having a run with Villalta. They've already proved how it is without him in the lineup.
Yep.
So I think that is who you keep. And I think you consider keeping Barrett Hayton, who has a year left, who might get sent back. Then next year, if you're not in a winning position, you get more assets next year. Yeah. I think you got to consider moving Morgan Frost. People might roll their eyes up, but you can consider moving him, and you can possibly consider moving both Sambrook and Keegan Hottishell. Yeah. But you're going to get some good returning pieces that can still help you with a deep playoff run. And plus, having Barrett Hayton at the helm will be extremely helpful. Now, if they keep Hottishell and they only move Sambrook and Frost, I consider that success. But I think they have to move Frost and Sambrook because of the overage with Sambrook, especially in Frost. I don't think he'll be back next year either. Obviously, he's going to be playing up in the pro level. So I think the Hounds have to get some assets for some young guys at the end of the day. But Brad, they played this weekend. Like I said, they won 2, lost 1. The best game that I was told came against London. Yeah. They played a fantastic game against London, which is first in their conference. They've shown that they're a good hockey team, the Hounds. Go through this weekend, the ups and downs this weekend before we kind of jump into some other local teams.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I look back at the weekend and, again, a great effort. I mean, that London game stands out because that was a game that both teams played well. And it just came down to we talked about Jordan Sambrook. Scored a great goal in overtime, went down the wing, cut in, beats Jordan Coy from essentially the right side of the slot. But that was a heck of a hockey game to watch. Like, if you're a hockey fan, that game was a lot of fun to watch.
It was.
Again, I looked this afternoon, I watched that game against Flint online. Full marks to the Flint Firebirds.
You said
full marks that the Greyhounds were not happy with the way they played.
No,
but I'll give
rightfully so.
I'll give full credit to Flint, who had gone in having won 3 of their last 6 games. So they were 500 in their last 6 games going into today.
Yep.
So that's a team that, for as terrible as they was to start the year, they're playing a little better hockey. And that's a tough situation, but they're playing better hockey.
Ty Delahundra is another guy that you would. Ty Delahundra, sorry, is that a guy that get moved too?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say 100%, but he's a guy that's going to get a lot of interest because he's a 200-foot guy. He's a leader. He's from everything I've heard, he's an amazing teammate. I've talked to the kid. He's an outstanding kid. He's a team that any contender would love to bring in.
Yeah. I should have asked before, was the Hounds have any thought of buying, but I don't think there is any thought of them buying.
You know what? Buying for the Greyhounds, and I've said this to other people, buying for the Greyhounds is going to be really tough.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Only because it's going to, unlike other years where you can move picks, you're gonna have to move guys off your roster, which means teams are going to ask, like, if you want to go get Nick Suzuki, guess what? Owen Sound's probably asking for Ryan O'Rourke.
You don't want to move that.
And you can't move Ryan O'Rourke. Like that Ryan O'Rourke, I'll say it right now, the kid's a stud at 16.
Yeah.
The kid's an absolute stud at 16.
Yep.
Or they're going to be asking for Joe Carroll. Who's played well of late.
Yeah.
They're going to be asking for these young guys. They might ask for Cole McCaig.
Yeah,
you can't do that because, if you're Kyle Raftis, you're building this team for, essentially you're building for the 3-year run. This is the first year of that. So conceivably, like, Ryan O'Rourke is going to be your backbone the next time you're making a run for a title. Ryan O'Rourke is going to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Cole McKay is going to be a 19-year-old.
A stud, too.
On the team
He'll be an NHL draft pick now, too.
So that's the situation is they have to look at is, and that's why you're going to, if they're bringing in guys, it's going to be Jaden Pekka type deals, where maybe they deal a late round.
Saw that. Good move. I thought it was a good move.
That move. The kid, Jaden Pekka put up good numbers last year in Barrie. His numbers this year are a little down, but that Barrie team isn't not that they're terrible, but they're not as good this year, so he's struggled. But he's a guy that I think fits the Greyhound system very well. He works his tail off every night, and he's a guy who's going to be a good fit. And the thing is, they brought in a guy who's going to be an overage candidate for the next year.
Exactly.
So he's a 99 birth year who is undrafted as far as NHL. He's undrafted, so that's a guy that you're going to see in a Greyhound uniform next year.
Yeah.
When they're in the second year of the 3-year cycle.
Yeah. Yep.
So I wouldn't be shocked, and I wouldn't be shocked if maybe potentially if they've got an opportunity to bring in another, average to slightly above average 19-year-old that fits the system.
Because that kind of replaces if they move Morgan Frost.
Because all of a sudden, you're bringing in a guy who fits your system that is going to be an overage for you next year. You're bringing a body that you're going to have next year.
Yeah.
That's why Jaden Peck is here. And I mean, it's a guy that they like and fits the system, but they bring him in. Part of the reason they bring him in is because he's a 99 birth year who's going to potentially be an overage for him next year.
Wild. A lot of coverage.
And that's the thing. I mean, people don't realize, and just to kind of wrap this up,
Yep.
people don't realize there's more that goes into the trade deadline than just we need to have the stars.
And what day is the deadline this week? It's
so 2 separate deadlines.
Yep.
Overage players is January 9th, which I believe is Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
And then the following day, so Thursday, would be the deadline for everyone else.
Ooh, big week. We're going to have a lot to talk about this Thursday and next week here at Icebreakers.
A lot of hours this week.
A lot of hours for you this week. Brad Coccimiglio from Soo today. Check out your article today as well. You had the Hound struggle in
have
Flint.
Kyle Raftis on speed dial for about the next 4 days.
Well, you tell him the Game Sports Show will be running into the GFL Memorial Gardens to pull him aside if we could too, for God's sakes. But someone's singing "Hit Me With Your Best Shot" by Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar. That's not Pat Benatar though in there.
No,
that's not. She's not in here. She's not here.
It's a female, but it's not Pat Benatar. I'm willing to bet that.
Oh, that's wild. But again, just remind the listeners, 3 games this week for the Hounds. Wednesday at 7:07 at the Gardens against Sarnia. and that's Wednesday the 9th, which is one of the deadline days. Friday, January the 11th, which is the day after the deadline, they play against Windsor, 7:07 at the Gardens, and then Saturday the 12th against Mississauga at 7:07 at the good old Gardens. Well, it's not old. The Gardens. GFL Memorial Gardens. So we're going to move on from the Hounds there, Brad. Just we'll wrap up with some other local talk and some other spit talk before we let you go and before we sign off the show. We got, let's say, just above a handful of minutes to go here on the show. So a lot of talk that we had with the juniors and the Hounds, which is what the listeners love. They want to hear a lot of Hounds. But the next team they like to hear about is the Soo Thunderbirds. The Soo Thunderbirds right now just finished their game. They came back. The Hounds. Well, here we go. The Soo Thunderbirds played Friday, which is January the 4th. They lost 3-2 to Elliott Lake in quite a nail-biter. And we do not have Coach John Parco coming by here tonight. We will have him next week to get a full recap. Or I'll try to make sure I get him even throughout the week to upload on our Thursday show to get his comments about the weekend. Just with having a Sunday night game, it's a little bit difficult to get him on the show.
Especially in Rayside.
Yeah, he's not here at the John Rhodes Community Centre.
Chances are he's not going to be here by the time we finish.
Yeah, chances are. I know some nights though, we might have still been here. But the Soo Thunderbirds lost one. They ended up winning this Sunday, though. They were losing to Rayside before we started on the show here tonight, but they end up winning. It says the unofficial final in the NOJHL is 5-3, but it seems that is the final to confirm. 5-3, yeah, they just got the check mark final. So the Soo Thunderbirds with the 5-3 win over Rayside. Balfour Canadians go 1-1 this weekend. The Soo Thunderbirds getting back into action from having the break off Friday. Maybe there's some holiday stuff going on there. A lot of the players from the Soo, though, so you have maybe some holiday rust on there, some turkey, holiday hangover, especially if you're me, hangover holiday. But they bounced back on the road against Rayside this Sunday tonight with an impressive 5-3 win.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and that's a big win. I mean, they're battling Rayside for top spot in the division, so that's a huge win for them, and a good way to end the weekend, and for the Thunderbirds, I mean, this is this is going to be a good stretch for them, and our team, and I always say this, they're a team that finds a way to be good every year, regardless of the turnover. They find ways to be competitive every year.
They do. You know what? The Hounds What's twice? Because we had so much Hound talk. That's how. Now the struggles are sort of coming up. It's just so pumped up with Hounds. But Thunderbirds, they've always had a team T-Bot. I remember back in the days, they've always been a successful organization, and they got great management there and great representatives there. And here tonight, Lucas Terrio had a big game. 5 points against Rayside. If anyone remembers, they scored 5 goals. So Lucas Terrio had 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points. Noah Bowman, who had 2 goals on the loss to Elliott Lake, had a goal and 3 assists here tonight. And then Matthew Bazarin. I said it right, John. John chirped me one time for saying Berezin, for God's sake. Sorry about that.
It's not Sergei Berezin.
That's not Sergei Berezin. No, he's the complete opposite of Berezin, actually.
He's a lot different player than Sergei Berezin was.
2 goals and assists. Good to see him back out there. Having him back is huge for the Thunderbirds because there's a kid that gets a chance to come play hockey here in the Soo. Big body presence, power forward, scores goals. It gels nicely with either if you want to put him with Terrio, if you want to put him with Rebick, if you want to put him with Bowman. It doesn't matter who you play him with, he gets the job done. So big game by Terrio, Bowman, and Bazarin. So then obviously Colin, 24 saves tonight, 27 shots, and only let 3 goals against here in Sudbury. Now, who played over on the Sudbury side? I'm going to give a shout out to friend and listener of the show, Joe Bowen. David Bowen, his son, was in net tonight for 58 and 47 seconds. So I don't have the full reason why there was a little bit of a pull there, because it seems like Sebastian Palmadone went in net for the last minute 13. I'm not too sure what happened there, but obviously there was an empty netter. I wonder if they just put Sebastian in to close out the game, if there's a little bit of equipment malfunction. I don't have any answer for that right now as the game just finished, but David Bowen went in and made 31 saves out of 35 shots. And when Sudbury comes to visit the Soo, I know what guy I'm pulling to the side, and he's going to laugh about when I show him a clip about who I have saved on my computer, and there's a listener of the show. But this Rayside's a good team, as you said there, Brad, and they're battling up with the Thunderbirds to try to get that top spot. The Thunderbirds are 4 games in hand. They have 53 points, 26-8 and 0-1. Thunderbirds are just getting the job done. Kirkland Lake on the other side, 35 games. They lead the Eastern Division. But watch out, Rayside and Blind River. And Soo Eagles. You know what? They're 6-3-1 in their past 10. The Eagles are coming on as well. You know, LaPrade has those guys going over there. They're always a dangerous team, especially there's some big bodies on that team. They have the ability to move up, and that's a team that you don't really want to play in the first round as one of Blind River Soo Eagles ever. For sure.
Yeah, that's two tough hockey clubs. I mean, the Eagles have given the Thunderbirds some tough go this year. Blind River's been solid here over the last couple of years as well. And
yeah, big turnaround with Kyle Brick at the helm.
Good job by Kyle Brick getting that franchise, that organization settled in.
Love Blind River. You know I love Blind River. I love seeing that team.
It so much. You played there, 4 times?
No. Is it 3? I was 3 times. 3 times, yeah. Signed there over the Birds my first year. Got traded there my second year, and then I was going to quit my last year, but Jim Cappy wanted me to play it, and I'm happy I played out my last year. I had some fun, even though I didn't take it as seriously as probably I should have. But nonetheless, good organization, and a big turnaround after 0-51 in 1 year or whatever they had down there. So the Eagles, though, transition over to the Eagles. They had a successful weekend going 2-0. They beat Blind River 8-5 on Friday, and they beat Rayside Balfour yesterday 5-3. Did the Soo Eagles. Big weekend again for the Eagles. Go 2-0 this weekend to get those points. They're trying to move their way up in the division. Doug LaPrade, we had him on the Game Sports Show earlier in December. He stressed how he wanted to get the boys going. And Kobe Keller with 2 goals that game. Big game from Dominic Securlia. I can't pronounce that last name. I will butcher that till the end. I'm sorry, Dominic, but you had 3 points. And then Riley Jensen also had 2 goals in that win against Rayside. So 2 teams getting a win, getting in. The Sounds, the Eagles, the Birds, a lot of local hockey. And there was another team that was in action. We're going to jump from the NOJHL quickly to wrap and talk about the NCAA. Lake Superior State University Lakers. People may know that we cover them here on the game. The Wicked Sisters are part of sponsor the Lake Superior State University Lakers as well as Eagle 95.1 and the Game Sports Show in general. We cover everything here local. We cover all of them. We're monopolizing. We talk every sports team here. Alaska. They beat them twice this weekend, Friday and Saturday. 5-2 the first game, 3-1 on Saturday. Brad, any reaction with Lake State?
I think they've won like 6 in a row now. It's a team that's playing some good hockey.
They have. If you want to count back, their last loss was against Minnesota State on the 1st of December. They won the 7th and 8th against Alaska. Then they won the 16th they played the U.S. national team. Then they won at the Great Lakes Invitational.
Yeah,
that is a huge win.
They've never won that tournament. They beat
Michigan State and Michigan Tech.
Beat Michigan State in overtime the first game, and then beat
good
Michigan
hockey game
Tech.
that was. Yes, got some videos from that game. It was a good hockey game, and they played that at the Little Caesars Arena, right? Big win, and then obviously this weekend winning that. And they come home this weekend, Friday the 11th and 12th. Hopefully myself or Scott and Ace will be there covering on behalf of the Game Sports Show, or if you're going to be there, Brad, with Soo today or yourself. Play Alabama Huntsville. You know, they got to keep the train rolling here, the Lake Superior State University. You know what? This is a town in Soo, Michigan that's been just craving to have a good team do well again and get back in the dynasty days. Right now, they're 13-6-1. Yeah, and they have a good hockey program there. And winning that tournament, having that many games to win in a row is definitely fantastic.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, that's it's a program that's struggled here for a bit. So, they haven't. I was reading something today that. I think the last time they won 6 in a row was like almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Or something. And I may have the numbers.
You're not just a pretty face, eh?
Yeah. I'm smarter than I look. So that's what I tell people anyway. But yeah, this is a program that hasn't done this in a bit. So, it's good that they're playing well. And, it's going to be exciting to see. I mean, they should be able to keep things rolling against Alabama this weekend. And, it's going to be a fun ride to see if they can keep the train rolling here.
I think that Lake State has a good hockey team, and they're very exciting to watch, and hopefully that I'm able to get over this weekend to watch. Now, they play this weekend against Alabama Huntsville, so we wrapped up the whole schedule in terms of upcoming games. I want to say with the Soo Thunderbirds, it seems that I did forget to bring that up, and I apologize. The Soo Thunderbirds are on the road this upcoming weekend again. They are not back home until the following weekend. But they are Friday, January 11th in Kirkland, the 12th against Powassan, then the 13th at French River, that big, dreadful trip down into that to Nouville down there, we like to call it here on the Game Sports Show. But Kirkland Lake, Powassan, and French River. And I should say about the Soo Eagles, they are home this upcoming weekend. They play against Blind River again on the 11th. And then the 12th, they play against Espanola. So you have games to watch in terms of the Hounds, the Eagles, and also with Lake Superior State University this weekend. And I should mention that also the Sioux College Cougars do play, but they are out of town this upcoming weekend. They play the University of Miami, Ohio. Then they play Middle Tennessee State in the University of Miami, Ohio rink as well. Then they play Liberty at the University of Miami, Ohio. So it's the 11th, 12th, and 13th time to be announced. You can look up the Sioux College Cougars Athletics Men's Hockey website, and they'll give you the times hopefully soon in the week. They don't return home until the 25th, 26th weekend against Schoolcraft at the good old Rankin Arena. Now, Brad, I know we kind of went above that 7 minutes, so I bought a couple minutes here to ask you something just before we let you go. All-Star Weekend in the National Hockey League. We talked about this again on Thursday. Why not wrap up with a little NHL talk? That's crazy trains in the background there, Ozzy Osbourne.
Aussie.
That's not Ozzy, though, in there.
Of Oz.
Yeah, do they need to change the All-Star format in the National Hockey League? Do you like it, or do you not like it? I want to get your opinion. You weren't there Thursday. Obviously, it's hard for you to make Thursday, so I'm going to get your opinions on some of the hot topics.
You know what? I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not a huge All-Star Game fan in general.
It's not like it used to be when we were kids. Remember when the skills comp was serious?
Yeah.
They need to have, I think, a reason for that game. But then that also risks injury. Okay, then you got players like, hey, I don't want Austin Matthews going. I don't want Connor McDavid going out there. You know,
and it's hard too because I mean, like you've got Alex Ovechkin who said, "Hey, guess what? I'm not going.
I need a rest," and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Though. The guy's been partying hammered since he won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm okay with the format. You know, I'm not a huge fan. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan. Like I don't watch All-Star games very often. I don't get into them. I don't get into the Major League. I mean, I might watch, like this year, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Yeah, I watched a bit of the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
I maybe watched an inning or two of the game.
Yeah.
The NHL All Star Game.
Derby's always fun to watch.
Yeah, the Derby's always
is.
fun to watch. I mean, I'll probably watch a bit of the skills comp.
Yeah.
The NHL skills comp. As far as the games are concerned, and I don't know that I'll watch much. I might watch a little bit of it if I'm near a TV.
Yeah.
But I'm not going out of my way to watch it. That's the thing. I mean, and I'm like that with everything, whether it's a Pro Bowl or, the NBA All-Star Game that ends up, with a score of 212 to 198. I don't get into it that much.
212.
And I mean, let's face it, it's really not that wrong. I mean,
It's basically Golden State against the NBA.
I mean, when was the last time a guy played defense in the NBA All-Star Game? Or wait, let me rephrase that. Has a guy ever played defense in the NBA All-Star Game? Because if they have, I haven't seen it.
Maybe DeMarcus Cousins last year. I think he stuffed LeBron once.
I was going to say.
As a joke, but he actually did it, or something happened last year.
Maybe you get a block every now and
Just
then.
to chirp some of your buddies.
And let's face it, when was the last time you saw a guy play defense in the NHL All-Star Game?
And what do you think is the most exciting to watch in the NBA one? The dunk contest.
Yeah.
What's the most exciting to watch in hockey? Probably the fastest skater, because people actually got to go hard, which I'm surprised no one's wiped out and broke their head off the goal. I'm sorry. Someone's going to wipe out one day down the road, God forbid, but it might happen. Okay, that happens. Yeah. And if you're watching baseball, which one are you watching? The Home Run Derby. If you're soccer, I don't really watch. We've got some analysts on the show that we don't hear from as much because, it's not as covered here. But you obviously have football. They have the Pro Bowl, which isn't really watched. It's right in the middle. It's that break between the Super Bowl. So lots of things there. But your take, I think I'd like to see a little bit of a change for it to mean something, but then again, that means injury. There's one thing I didn't forget to talk about that I want you to promote. Algoma University Athletics.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Off air. I want you to tell our listeners what happened. They made some history this weekend. And let's give the Algoma University Thunderbirds some publicity here on the Game Sports Show.
Yeah, they, for the first time in school history as members of the OUA, they swept the weekend. So basically, they had the Waterloo Warriors in for 2 games each, men's and women's. They played Friday night and Saturday night at the George Leach Center. The Algoma team swept all 4 games. And it's
amazing.
This isn't even a lie when I say this. If they won all 4 games by maybe a combined 8 points, the games were that close.
Very good basketball games.
The men's and women's team, both teams won. I believe I'd have to double check on it, but I believe the men won by a couple of points on Friday, and the women I think won by 3. And then last night, the women won by 2, the men won by 2. The men won on a last-second layup with 0.8 of a second to go in regulation time.
It's amazing. Love that kind of stuff.
It was a lot of fun to watch. It was the first first Algoma basketball game I had seen in a long time, and you know what, it was entertaining. And you know, shout out to the Algoma University basketball teams for sweeping a weekend in the OUA. That's not an easy thing to do.
It isn't, and I want to give them a little publicity for that because we cover everything local. But another thing I wanted to bring up with that, and we're not going to talk about it because we're out of time, but hockey team to Algoma University. They always said that they needed to have.
You know what? It's funny you said that because I had this conversation with somebody.
And we're gonna save it for next week.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna save that. We'll talk about it here at Icebreakers next week because you are here next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the week after.
It's the week after that you're not.
When you would normally do the show, I will be probably somewhere between Sudbury and the Soo.
Exactly.
I will basically be where John Parkle probably is right now.
Oh, basically.
Somewhere between.
So I might be
Sudbury and
calling
the
you.
Soo. Yeah.
No, but it's. I think what I want to bring up with that, and it's a little teaser for our listeners. I'm not going to talk about it on the Wednesday or Thursday show. I might bring in Dane and Justin to talk about it, but hockey team to Algoma U, I'm not pulling anything from Soo College. Love the talent that Soo College has. It's amazing on that hockey team, which they should be in a higher level, but whatever. They say you need to always have a girls team if you're going to have a guys team is the issue with Algoma U. But you know what? The talent that is in the Soo that can play Algoma U, the washed up players that can play, even the girls and guys.
And bear in mind, and just really quick on that, you add an OUA hockey team, you're not necessarily going to have all local guys, which I get. People might not like that idea.
I might roll back in school for that. Actually, I am still in school.
OUA hockey is extremely high end. The OUA groups that have played the national junior camp have always done well, and it's basically ex-guys from the Canadian Hockey League.
There's good talent. Like, if you want to think of some guys like Brett Thompson, I would probably try out. Not saying I'd make it, but like
high-end juniors are playing.
Exactly. I think we'd have a competitive team though. Yeah. I think we would, especially from the Soo. Bring out some of the old classic guys. Jerry Patingolo. Let's get some of the guys back and get back into the gym, boys. Yeah. Let's get back into the gym, even more than when we go now, which is twice a week, if you're lucky. Brad, great show. Great stuff to talk about. And we always had fun. What we like to do here on the special edition upload of the Game Sports Show, brought to you by Icebreakers Sports Bar and Grill, powered by Northern Superior Brewing Company as well. Like I said, it's local discussion. We like to bring up some hot topics as well. We talk some professional sports and everything local as much as we can cover. There's a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to local sports right now. It's busy as fuck. I've swore a couple times on the show, so hopefully if any kids out there, hopefully not too offended. We like to get Oh, I like that. Huckfey. Huckfey?
Yeah, Huckfey.
Little
pig lot.
Oh.
See?
Damn.
You never thought of that,
No, I don't. No, I don't.
See, I'm not just a pretty face
No,
around
you're not
here,
just
Dave.
a pretty
You gotta
face.
remember that.
You're not a pretty face. You're not just a pretty face. Sorry. You're not just a pretty face.
Wow.
You are a pretty face. You're just not a pretty face. No, see, when I get all excited, when I should be saying, yeah, exactly, because I'm caught in your eyes. I get lost in your eyes.
It's not the first time I've been told that.
It's hilarious how much fun we have. Now, again, to remind everyone this week, we're not the Wicked Sister until next Monday, the 14th. We're at Sportscentre at 9 p.m. Wednesday. We're at Northern Superior Brewing Company on Thursday. Myself, Dave, and Justin. Second time I did that as well. We're going to be there at 6 p.m. this Thursday. Just remind listeners our early week. Then we're going to be there the next Sunday. Myself and Brad will be here. Hopefully, I think we're aiming for the same time, around 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that, around that area. Time will be announced on Thursday. Now, Brad, I want to say thank you for coming on by here tonight.
It's always a pleasure.
It always is a pleasure.
Pleasure is mine.
First time we never had a beer here either. But we've had the enjoyment of hearing people sing AC/DC, Metallica, Pat Benatar, and another song that I don't even know what the artist was, but they're having a good time here at Icebreaker. So I hope the listeners are having a good time right now. They are.
Shania Twain out there
That's Shania Twain right there, but it's not Man, I Feel Like a Woman. It's
I can't.
See, I can't think of these titles.
Song, but I can't
think of the titles. Listeners, if you ever have any questions for myself and Brad, I know since it's mostly podcasts and not live on 95.1, these ones, or any other station, but you can comment below. Okay, comment below, ask questions myself and Brad. We'll definitely answer for you. Same goes for our Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and also our Sunday show. We also plan to expand our podcast, little announcement to everything, that we're planning to get onto Spotify and Apple Podcast. I know Podbean is connected with Apple, there's stuff there, but we're going to enhance our availability to our listeners and just the overall mobile accessibility. We've had Podbean's been great, but we're going to get into every platform as possible because we are the Twin Cities' only local regional national sports show. We want to get out there as best we can. And you can also listen to our show. Northern Superior shares our show. Sportscentre shares our show. You can reach out to Soo College Cougars Athletics. They'll help out the Soo Thunderbirds, Soo Eagles, Soo Greyhounds, Lake Superior State University Athletics, they all have our information to reach out to, different pages you can reach us on. But be prepared to have us downloaded on your Spotify or on your Apple podcasts there. But make sure you follow us on Podbean and or Facebook. Listeners have asked me why I haven't put up a topic for question. Haven't been able to. It's been quite the busy year. We wanted to give away a Christmas present, but we weren't able to do that. But we will have a trivia question this week, by the end of this week, 100% certain. So I want to appreciate the patience for our listeners with that, for a chance to win a pizza, courtesy of Sportscentre Bar and Grill. And also, hopefully, Icebreakers. We're going to be working on something with Icebreakers for a prize as well for the trivia uploading our Sunday shows. Brad, once again, thank you for coming by. I want to say thank you to you, the listeners, for listening again. I want to say thank you to Scott Neeson, the board operator tonight. And I want to say to everyone out there, again, thanks for tuning in. And until Wednesday this week from Sportscentre Bar and Grill, make sure to keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch a touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.